let's talk about meditation. The main thing to remember about meditation is that it's simpler than most people think. It is mainly just a practice of taking yourself out of your daily thought patterns and using something like the breath or a mantra or something that you can focus your attention on to come back into the present moment and ultimately coming back into right now, reality. So one of the keys is to notice your thoughts. So for example, all of us, every day, get lost in our thoughts. And these thoughts can be thoughts or memories or feelings about the past or projections or worries or fears or thoughts about the future. And when you sit back and notice, you'll realize that a large part of your day, all of our day, is consumed with these thoughts. The biggest truth about all of these thoughts, the future thoughts and the past thoughts, is none of them are actually real. None of them are happening right now, in reality, in this moment. They're all either predictions or memories. And meditation is just the practice of noticing that that's what your brain is doing. It's taking a step back, taking a pause, using something like your breath or a mantra or something that you're concentrating on, a sound, a focus, to use as an anchor point to notice that, hey, for the past 5 minutes, I've been thinking about a job interview, something I don't want to do, a memory, and noticing that and saying, I'm now thinking about my breath. I'm thinking about something that's happening here in this moment. And that push-pull between projections and what isn't reality and what isn't in the moment right now, and anchoring yourself back into this moment and just noticing that that's what you were doing, that what you were actually doing was projecting or having memories. Just that noticing and that recognition is it. That is meditation. That's it. And in any given meditation, when you sit and you concentrate on your breath or whatever your concentration point is, that part where, oh my God, I noticed I was thinking, or I was having a bad memory or whatever, that will happen over and over and over. No monk, no super enlightened person is to the point where they're past that. That will happen to everybody. So when people sit and they try to meditate and they say, I can't meditate, my mind just races. I just have all these thoughts and I can't just come back to the moment. The key is to remember that if you can just notice, even one time a day, even one thought, if you can just notice that you're thinking instead of just thinking, if you can notice that you're thinking, that that's what you're doing, that is a huge accomplishment. And that is a giant step towards coming back and being in a place where you are now in the here and now and in the moment and not off somewhere else in your own thoughts. So that's kind of the simplest way I can use to describe it. So we'll do a couple videos here. This will be the first one, and this will just kind of serve as an intro so you kind of know what to look for, how to establish a practice, just some things to know. And then in the next couple videos, I'll go through a couple different simple meditations that have really helped me, that I still use, that are a great way to unplug and just check back in with yourself. So the first thing to talk about when you're meditating at all is, like, let's talk about the setting. So we are lucky enough, we have a room, and we can shut the door, and this can be a silent little place, and it's an established spot to meditate. That's ideal. Most people won't have that. But what a lot of us have, especially if you take a look around, is you have somewhere in your house or in your daily routine, if you really take a look at it, you'll be able to find a spot that you can keep pretty private and pretty silent. I think the most important thing to think about when you're picking a space to meditate is just somewhere where it can be quiet and free from distractions. So if you can, let's talk about if you can find a space. If you can find a space, let's try to create something that's inspiring to you. And it can be in really simple ways. It can be like one figurine or picture or something that inspires you, lifts you up, is a reminder of something that makes you feel motivated. A picture of a teacher or a parent or someone you looked up to, or a Buddha or a deity, or it could be a G.I. Joe that you love. It could be anything that makes you feel good, lifts you up, and even better, can motivate you. But just adopt to whatever it is in your own life and try to create a space when you're going to meditate, whether it's in a space or you're just sneaking away and you're doing it in the bathroom or in your car while it's parked, or anywhere where you can just find a few free moments. Just try to establish yourself in that place before you start. Take a couple clearing breaths and create some space between the rest of your day and the moment where you're going to start meditating. Just to give it, just to sort of establish it in yourself as a meditation. So anything works, just make sure that you could try to keep it as quiet as possible. So the next thing would be posture. Let's talk about posture. The main thing you want to think about is to have a tall and straight and alert spine. So you can sit however you want. You want to have a strong base and a tall spine. So cross your legs however you want. I'm seated on a pillow. You can sit in a chair. A more rigid chair would be more ideal because you can still find a comfortable seat in there if you have tight hamstrings or a sore back. But a more rigid chair, like a folding chair or whatever, will keep you in more of an alert posture. That's kind of important. But use whatever's around you and you won't be able to fall in and meditate and really fall into the practice unless you can find a position that's comfortable for you. So that's important. Comfort, strong base, tall spine, whatever works works for you. As for the timing, don't get caught up too much with this. Some will say that meditation twice a day, 20 minutes a day that's the way. Or 30 minutes in the morning, 10 to 20 minutes at night, that's the way. What I have personally found is that however you can meditate, whether it's for a minute or it's 5 minutes, or you find those magical times where you can sneak 30 minutes in, the key is to get reps and to try to turn it into a practice where it becomes a regular thing. Just like working out at the gym, where the more you work out your bicep, if you do it one time, you're not going to start seeing results. But if you work it out regularly, even if you don't go hard on it, you'll start to see results in your bicep. And I've heard it said that meditation is kind of like doing bicep curls for your brain. And there is a truth to that, in that the more reps you can establish and the more it can become part of your normal life, the more results you'll see in your interactions with people, in your relationship to your thoughts, in your ability to not get caught up in those thoughts and have them turn into whatever feeling your body turns them into, anxiety, stress, whatever. So however long you can do, 5 minutes is great. And even if you can just even in a given day, if you can notice 2 breaths where you take a pause from all of your thoughts and you just notice yourself breathing and you count to 10 or 5 with your breaths or whatever, that's all an accomplishment. Just try to get reps in. That's the key. And start small and do whatever you feel is comfortable. You're gonna have to establish a practice that's gonna make you want to continue doing it. So don't put some bar up where you're like, oh, I have to do 30 minutes a day, because it's not achievable for a lot of people, and it's a lot in the beginning, and so that could scare you away, and then you're going to be left with no meditation practice. Do bite size and find what's good for you. As for the times of day, this is, like I said, it could go, there's a lot of different arguments on what time of the day it should be. For me, I like to do it in the morning if possible, and then at night if possible. I'm the first one to say that most days this is not possible for me. I'm busy, and honestly, I just have a hard time establishing a daily routine. So when I can, I will try to do it in the morning, and when I can, I will try to do it in the night. What I'll say about the morning, though, is don't do it in bed. It's just, it's a really hard thing to do. First of all, you want to be in a place that's not where you sleep, because that is designated in your mind as a place where you sleep. You want to do it in a dedicated space, but that dedicated space could be going and sitting on the carpet next to your bed on a pillow in the morning. Just what I would recommend is getting up, maybe putting some cold water on your face, getting a cup of coffee, going to the bathroom, getting up, walking around for just a minute or two, just to not be in bed anymore, and then find your spot and see if you can sit for 5 minutes. This, I find, is really helpful, because depending on what dreams you have, or if you had a nightmare, or if you were having some sort of a negative dream or even a positive dream, you're left with these feelings from the dream sometimes, which basically means you're waking up with feelings that aren't having anything to do with the reality that you just woke up in. They're feelings that are tied in with the dream that you just had. And by stopping and having a little meditation practice in the morning, it kind of wipes the slate clean and can help you start fresh mentally and go into your day fresh, based on your day and not based on the dreams that you just had. So that's helpful for me. At night, it's also, I find it really helpful to come down from your day and sort of draw a line in the sand, creating space between what happened to you at work, any stress or whatever, and bringing you back into your home, into your relaxed state. But just find what works for you. But with finding what works for you, see if you can just do something where you're establishing some sort of a pattern, some sort of a routine, because when it gets down to it, that is the part that I think is the most important. So I think that kind of lays out the basics of it. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get scared. Just have fun with it. And in the next couple videos, I'll walk you through a couple really simple ones that I still use most days and are super helpful. So stay tuned and check those out, and thanks for joining me.